we have this vision on how that world would look like, and it's pretty much Minority Report.
I mean, for people who haven't seen the movie, the central premise of it is...
The one thing I think you need to bear in mind, somewhere in the movie he steps into a train and the advertising screen actually tells him, Mr. I don't know his name, it's about time for your Guinness today. and that's basically what it's all about, is a machine actually feeling that he is into a Guinness.
You're covered in devices. You probably actually have a barcode on your head. So you're walking along and anyone who wants to market to you will be able to, say to your Bluetooth, there's a great sale on here. We know that over the last year you've bought 2.4 gallons of Chanel No. 19 perfume, and then we know that at the moment you're wearing a pair of Nike trainers that you bought in 2015 in Walmart. We've got an offer for you. I think the technology is in place for very, very personalised, very intrusive marketing to take place. I mean, already you can have chips on your clothes that will be able to pick up what you've done.
And I was just joking with James Fowler. This was towards the end of our conversation, and he joked about, one day he thinks you'll have this cell phone, which, because it's your cell phone, it knows all your friends, it knows your social network, it's right there in your calendar, and you'll be able to walk into a mall and say, cell phone, tell me where I should go. And it'll look at all your friends and say, well, your friend likes The Gap and this other friend likes this CD. So you'll just go where your phone tells you to go based on what, all the stuff your friends like.
Yeah, it's feedback loops,
and
that's powerful stuff.
And you realize something like Netflix, the DVD shipping service, instead of telling me what everyone else likes, just tell me what my friends like. Because chances are, if they like Napoleon Dynamite, or if they like that comedy, or if they like this French film, then I'll probably like it too.
Well, one of the things I'm conscious of is, neuromarketing in its current state, as you're saying, is, people wired up, themselves.
Yeah.
And one of the things I'm kind of really into at the moment is we're social animals. Yeah. And actually, it's much less about what's going on in our head, and I mean from a thoughts point of view.
Absolutely.
And it's much more about what influence I'm getting from everyone around me, and how do we measure that?
And I think, if I had to pick one thing, I think that's exactly right, that will be a big force in 2019 that we're not talking about now. It will be the influence of social networks.
Probably the most cutting edge thing that I'm involved in. I have two people in my office in Tokyo. They go to designers, people who are into the creative areas in Japan, and give them a load of money. We'll give them, say, $5,000, and we'll say, you can do whatever you like with that $5,000 that involves entertaining your friends. And they go, of course, well, what do you want, some sort of branded party? Oh no, you don't have to brand it, do whatever you like. What we find is they automatically brand on their blogs and give credit to whoever's paid this.
Yeah.
And then these two guys, young guy and young girl, they go and they're part of the organisation, they're part of the event, and then they're part of sort of what happened to it. And part of the process is a very sort of soft interviewing process of the people at the event about what they think of lifestyles and events and stuff, and then sponsorship and things like that. And it's gathering a lot of good ideas about co-creation. I think the point about the future, though, is that it's about creativity. And what we've seen in the last few years, and I mean, John, your company is a good example, but we've seen a huge change, if you like, in the variety of things we can do and the approaches we take.
I don't have the answer, but I have questions about it that probably will paint the future. I mean, I think that if there's something that is going to happen, is that research is going to be more like a conversation rather than a one-way exchange. It's not me interviewing you, but kind of engaging a conversation that doesn't end in a specific points of time.
I think it would be a huge dialogue. It's not going to be questioning people, but talking to people and exchanging views and getting in a big way intimate with people. It's a little bit of an anachronism to talk about getting intimate but making a big dialogue, but it could happen.
This stop, go, stop, go, stop, go market research paradigm is also going to come grinding to a halt. Most of us are going to be continually researching and making use of continual data feeds and adjusting our analytics as we go, rather than switching a project on and switching it off.
I think that if we do it well, research in 2019 shouldn't look like research anymore. in the Twitter study, what we did, we asked people questions, but they had the feeling that they were getting a tool from us, because they filled out like 10 questions, and immediately after they filled out the questions, they came into a tool where they saw their own answers, and next to that, the answers from their network, and then they could also benchmark with Twitter. So they had the feeling they got something from us, and in the back we collected a lot of data, but it didn't look for them like research.
Just mere speed of getting an answer is probably less important than in terms of the value of that answer to decision making. After all, ever since research started, and probably research forever, it's about insights and it's about forecasting. Yeah. Those are the two characteristics, and I don't think those will ever change.
Well, I think we will still have some very big companies out there dealing with some big issues for clients, but I actually think we'll look a bit more like the film industry. I think we'll have smaller firms who are highly specialised working with other small firms who are also specialised. In the same way that today, to make a film, you don't go to Hollywood, you don't get the big film company that owns absolutely everything. You get a company that's got the rights to something, but they then bring in a whole host of specialists working in their own specific areas, and it's a massive fluid collaboration.
I think research will have to be more playful and engaging. It has to have willing participants, not accosted victims of clipboards in the street. I mean, come on, for God's sake. We've got to move on and make it kind of game-like, playful-like, so that people almost think, oh, can I do that again? And it's like, no, I'm sorry, no. So it becomes kind of something that has a cachet. It becomes cool.